is a smaller budget, independent kind of film directed by a friend of mine named Peter. It's written by somebody named Brett E. Lewis, and it stars a whole bunch of people. People that I haven't seen in a while, but people that are instantly recognizable if you see their faces. You've got Evan Hall, you've got Dylan Walsh, Don Stark, Carrie Lowell, I mean, a whole bunch of other people that I can't even bear to remember right now. It's basically a political screwball comedy. It's about this intern, this guy who works for this senator who's kind of this douchebag. He opens up his apartment for a whole bunch of sex-starved politicians. He sets up basically a sex trade in his own apartment where politicians can bring their mistresses and their drugs. While that's happening, he's also having an affair with one of the mistresses of the senator. And from there on, things just continue to get more and more and more and more complicated. That's the basic premise of the movie. Peter, solid job, buddy. Solid job. You know what I love? I love movies that are kind of like inside jokes. You know what I mean? Movies that make fun of other movies but don't do it in such an off-brand way that it takes me out of the movie. That's the perfect example of what C Street is. This movie is a straight-up screwball comedy. It's political satire. It makes fun of a lot of politicians and businessmen and people in power. It's equal opportunity. It makes fun of everybody and everything. And that's another thing that I really like about the way the comedy was directed in this movie. Whether you're conservative or Democrat, Republican, whatever, it takes aim at everybody. The laughs, they're pretty good. I'm not gonna lie, there are a lot of moments in this movie where I was laughing, where I was just sitting there and my side started hurting because I was laughing really hard at something. The acting is solid. Everyone gives a solid performance, but this is also the kind of movie where I don't know if much is required of you as an actor. I mean, I guess that's also a positive though, as if there's not much required of you and then you do a good job anyways, or at least I don't notice how bad you are. So gotta give shout out to the acting for that shit. There is some really there's some off the wall brand of humor in this movie. I'm just gonna tell you that. It's crazy. Just strap yourself in. If you're going into this movie, you don't really know what it is, just there's some things that they do go off the wall in some places. For sure. The number one job of any comedy in the history of ever is to make me laugh, make me enjoy it. This movie did. It made me laugh. It made me enjoy it. And I'm not just saying that because a friend of mine directed this. Really, I would roughly say from about 40 minutes in is when the humor really picks up. And from there, everyone on every side of the political aisle gets slaughtered and gets taken aim at. And it's really fucking cool. It falls into the same trap that a lot of comedies fall into, where sometimes if you beat a joke over the head over and over again, sometimes it does fall flat at a certain point. Sometimes where you're laughing hard, you want to follow that up with another laugh, but then a joke happens that doesn't really land, so you're just kind of sitting there with awkward silence afterward. That happened a couple of times throughout this movie, where I'm laughing hard at something and then the follow-up joke had me just sitting there like, Like I mentioned in my description, there is a romance, there is an affair that happens in this movie. It doesn't like pull me out of the movie or anything, but the romance does feel a little tacked on in general to the rest of the movie. It doesn't really add anything. Like I wanted to sit here and say, oh, the romance really added a lot of depth. It really made things really more impressive. Nah, not really. It just kind of was there to be there. C Street is a smaller movie. It's more of an indie film. It's got good humor. It's got good political satire. The characters, while cartoons, are all characters that you can laugh at and have a lot of fun with. Jokes do fall flat in some areas, and there's a romance that doesn't really do much for me in terms of narrative. But in the end, I will say that C Street is a solid time, and it is a Man of Steel time at the movies. Peter, good job with this one, buddy. You did a really solid job. I keep everything 100 in my review, so if it sucked, I would tell you that it sucked. Luckily, it didn't. Keep up the good work, man. I'm really proud of you, and hope to see more from you in the future. Guys, that's my review of C Street. Let me know if you've seen it, or let me know if you're interested in seeing it. Once again, it's a smaller film that not a lot of people are going to see, but if you have, let me know if you liked it or not. And if you like what you see, tell me how you feel, and stay tuned to hear more from the Man of Steel. Peace.